Good morning, you guys. Today we are going to be going into what we've been doing the last few days. We're going to add some money to our quarter challenge, and then we're going to have to find some more money to go back to the bank. So if any of that sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. Okay guys, I still haven't gotten my new light, so excuse the lighting. I've got some natural light on this side, I've got a lamp on this side, so we're just gonna go with it, alright? Okay, so first we're gonna just go into this page just because there's a lot going on. Not really a lot, but I did have a credit card payment come out, I think. I don't know, I'm pretty sure it did. But if not, it's fixing to. If I can make straight lines, why am I not able to make straight lines right now? Okay, so there was a bill that came out that I wasn't expecting. Next we did go to Kent Quick and got some more drinks, just because that's what we do when we leave the house. So we spent $18 there. Okay, and here's where we messed up again. Not really, kind of, but so we went to Tractor Supply. So this was totally an emotional spending purchase, okay? I know I've talked about that a few times on here, and I just kind of wanted to go over, if you really don't know what emotional spending is, it's what it sounds like, spending based off of emotions. So it's that temporary like dopamine rush that we get when we scroll through YouTube or TikTok, Instagram, whatever you watch, just the short videos. A lot of the times we'll get lost in just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It's that feeling when we buy certain things too. In my case, it's chickens. We went and got more. So when we spent quite a bit of money on it, I'm not gonna lie, it was probably more than we should have, but that'll be our chickens for the year. Probably for a couple years actually, as long as we can keep them all alive. So this kind of was like animals too, because we got some more feed for them, but just that emotional spending that you do when you're bored or you're upset or you're really happy. It's just like, oh, I'm in a really good mood, let's go spend some money. And that can be just a cup of coffee. I'm in a really good mood, let's go get some Starbucks. Or I need to pick me up because I've had a bad day, so let's go get some ice cream. You know, just those spending purchases that we have because we're in any kind of certain mood. Chickens make me happy. Baby chicks are just so cute and fluffy and soft and adorable, and they make me happy. So that I consider that an emotional spending, but you might not. Some people consider that a necessity. Okay, so flipping over here to bills. We did have quite a few bills come out. So we had our AT&T come out. Again, if I can make straight lines. This one came out for $50. It was one of my credit card payments. The Bass Pro came out. This Total AV came out, and this is just a subscription I have to help with like the spam stuff, or the scam websites and stuff like that. Okay, our water bill came out, which I paid that the other day. And then our electric came out too. Okay, so I think that's all the bills that came out so far. So like I said, I do need to get this money back to the bank so that we can get all our bills paid. Anyways, back to emotional spending. So it's also like impulse purchases. So if you go grocery shopping and you're walking through the aisles, because that's what we do, and you're like, oh, that looks really good, and you buy just a bunch of extra stuff that you don't need, that's also considered emotional spending. Your emotional spending usually ends up in overspending and falling into debt, which is where I'm at right now in my life. Credit cards, if you know how to use them, that's awesome, that's great. A lot of people get credit cards and they use it for their home purchases, you know, their utilities, their rent, their mortgage, fuel for their vehicles, things like that, and then they budget the cash for that, and then they take that back to the bank at the end of the month. Other people, like myself, we just spend. I'm bored. I'm gonna jump on Amazon and see what I can buy. Being bored is another form of emotion, right? Like, it's something else we do. So that does add to the financial stress of trying to budget. So this is why I've been tracking everything. See how much emotional spending we're doing, how much overspending we're doing, how many like impulse purchases, things like that, and where I'm spending that money from. So if I'm using the card, if I'm using cash or credit cards, that way I can hopefully solve that problem. Hopefully. So a lot of the times when you do emotional spend, it does undermine your budgeting efforts. Hence my problem. So I've got $7.50 here, or $7.75 right here. I'm gonna add into this quarter challenge. But yeah, so it doesn't make sense to make a budget and then overspend on that budget, right? So if you're trying to stick to a budget and then you make impulsive, emotional driven purchases, it can just totally mess up your budget. So, and it disrupts your cash, like how much money you have, because now that I spent $300 on chickens in one day, now we don't have money for next week. So now I have to pull from my sinking funds and savings challenges and stuff so that we can buy groceries and anything we need for next week. Which is fine. That's what that money's there for. It's there to be a backup. But at the same time, it's supposed to go towards our home or our kids or emergency fund, which I've been trying to build, and I can't seem to get under control. I can't seem to get any kind of sinking fund off the ground, which is why sometimes I feel like this channel is like pointless, because it's like I can't even keep money in a savings category. So like, honestly, I feel like, why do you guys even want to watch me? Because, you know, you watch bigger channels like Black and Blue or Beautifully Me and You, and they've got these massive savings accounts or savings envelopes. Like Erica on Black and Blue, she's got $26,000 in her emergency fund or savings account or whatever it is. And I'm like, I can't even get $100 in there and keep it there. You know, I have to do stuff like this to where I don't see it. Which is, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are like this, but, which kind of leads into the guilt and regret of either making those purchases or well, yeah, you know, you feel guilty making, or buying things, you feel guilty and you regret it, and, you know, it's rough. It's a very back and forth battle. It's like, oh, that's awesome, I bought this, and that. And then a few days later, you're like, man, I really shouldn't have bought that. I really should have saved that money, or I should have done something else with it, or I knew I needed groceries and I didn't get it. So there was $7.75 into there. So now we're gonna come through here and try to find this other $100. Because we need it for bills, not even for groceries or anything. I just literally for bills. So we've got quite a bit in here. This should be 15. I am gonna put this towards that credit card that I wasn't expecting. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So when you spend unintentionally, it does result in feeling guilty. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that does eventually lead into or cause more emotional spending. Because then you get upset with yourself. And what makes you happy? What gets you out of that feeling? Ice cream, coffee, something you've been eyeballing on Amazon. It's only $5. But then it leads you back down that rabbit hole of, I shouldn't have spent that. Like, we have to allow ourselves to feel those feelings. Whether we're happy, we're sad, we're upset. Whether we feel guilty or whatever the case is, we have to let ourselves feel those feelings. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So, emotional spending is a very vicious cycle, and I'm going to take this $5 out of birthdays. Debt. There's only $1 in there. So $50 more. Let's see. So I just 1, 2, 3. I feel like there's a lot that we can talk about when it comes to emotional spending. So one of the things is, first and foremost, you have to identify your triggers. There's 1, 2, 3 here. So what makes you want to do those purchases? Is it because you're upset? Is it because you, like, what is it that makes you make those purchases? What makes you get on your phone and scroll through TikTok and buy things that people are suggesting to you, even though you probably really don't need it? You have to figure out what it is that makes you do that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, you gotta find the who, what, when, where, and why of your emotional spending. Okay, So after you figure that out, you have to try to cope with it. Like, you've got to, instead of spending, you got to try healthier coping mechanisms. Like, when you get upset, go read a book. Go play with your kids. If cleaning makes you happy, go clean something. If you like having a clean house and seeing a clean sink of dishes, or a clean sink with no dishes in it, go wash dishes. Yeah, 10, 15, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So just little things like that. Take this $10. I'm gonna take this out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. But you just gotta find something that you can do that doesn't cost money. Something you can do that doesn't cost money that makes you feel better. It could be as simple as going for a walk. If you like I said, going for a walk, take your dogs on a walk, or you know, something of that nature. Like, go walk around your backyard, go walk around your neighborhood, walk down to your closest grocery store or 7-Eleven or, you know, convenience store. Like, I mean, obviously if it's too far, then don't overexert yourself, but there's a lot of things you can do that don't cost money. That didn't work. This yellow. No. That didn't work either. This one should work. And then you just gotta, I'll wipe this one off here in a little bit, but that should be it. But you gotta just come up with a healthy alternative to spending money. A lot of us have a very bad relationship with money. There's a lot of things that we don't cope with. Like, our generation doesn't know how to deal with their feelings. This is something else that can help you with overspending and emotional spending. It's just to add a buffer into your budget. If you know that, you know, next week's a rough week because, you know, something happens, or there's, you know, something in your life that did happen. You know, maybe you had a loved one pass away and you know the anniversary of that date's coming up. And you know you get in your feelings about things. Like, not that that's a bad thing to be in your feelings about, but maybe you and your spouse are arguing and you know that the argument lasts, or your arguments usually last a few days, a few weeks, even though arguments shouldn't last that long. At some point you're gonna have a really big blowout and you're just gonna be really upset and you're gonna want to go get ice cream. You know how you spend, you know what you spend. Some people spend a lot of money on craft things. They get upset, they get stressed out with their jobs, and they go to Hobby Lobby and probably spend too much money in the clearance aisle. I've done that. I know people who've done that. There's a lot of different emotional spendings, and you know yours. You know how and when, for the most part, you're going to be spending. It's easy for you to try to figure that out. Like I said, just give yourself a limit. I'm not saying don't emotional spend. If you're upset, if you're stressed out, go to Hobby Lobby, go to the dollar store, go wherever it is that makes you happy. But give yourself a $20 limit, a $50 limit. If you know you like to go grab coffee because you've had a bad day, or things happen, put an extra $20 aside. If you know you're gonna have a stressful week at work and you're gonna want to go and just kind of let your mind free at Michael's or Target or whatever your go-to place is, put an extra $50 in your buffer. If you know you go to the grocery store and you spend extra money because whatever reason, you're in a good mood, so let's buy some extra stuff. Or, you know, the kids have been really good and you're happy that they're actually listening and behaving and doing what they're supposed to, so you're gonna reward them. Limit your extra spending. If you guys are not yet subscribed and you've made it this far, please consider subscribing and follow along for all of my emotional spending and trying to get that under control. So let's give this a count real quick. We've got 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. Maybe? Did I do something wrong? Alright, let me see. 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. There's 40. 1. So there's $100 that we needed that I spent. Went ahead and closed out one of our savings challenges. I'm gonna go through real quick and try to get some of these condensed if I can, or maybe swap out for some better bills. So like this one can go back to the bank. That one's okay. 5. Okay, those ones are good. Some better ones in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put another savings challenge in this one, just because since I pulled all that money, I'll go ahead and just restart. I have some new savings challenges coming out, you guys, if you haven't already. Go down into the description below and go follow my Etsy shop because I got some really cute stuff coming out. Okay, I think that's it. I don't even know how much I was supposed to have, but all the talking I've been doing. 2, 3, 4, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's count up these ones again. Once I see the number, I'll know more or less if that's what I need. So I might speed through this part, but yeah, 1, 2, 3. $5.70. I think that's about right. We'll see. If I come back on Friday and tell you guys that I needed more money to pay our bills, then it is what it is. But dogs are moving around, kids are fixing to wake up. It's 8:45 in the morning. So hopefully you got a little bit of insight information, so learned something about emotional spending in this video. And I will be back on Friday, not for a cash stuffing, but for we're gonna figure this out. Okay? I'm gonna get that back to the bank, and I will see you guys on the next one. Y'all have a great day.